Hello everyone, my name is Kieran. Welcome to another transfer video on my channel. Now obviously the transfer window is open right now and it won't be open for as long as last season. There's going to be a lot of transfer videos on my channel. You don't want to miss them. So if you are watching, please do like the video and also subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification button because you don't want to miss a transfer stream. But I've got a very special guest with me. Last time you saw him on the channel was a very disappointing defeat at the hands of Sevilla. But today we're talking a bit more positive news today. I'm happy to be joined by Day from Man United Talk. Say hello, pal.
How you guys doing? I'm here and I'm happy.
Yeah, happier than the last time. That goes without saying. But yes. Today, obviously, welcome Daryl, by the way. Welcome to stream, mate. His link is in the description down below if you'd like to subscribe to his channel. I really would recommend it. Welcome BHFC News 07, welcome to stream. And yes, guys, as I said, the main topic of discussion, as you can see by the title, is Fred. Now, to be honest with you, I didn't know too much about Fred before this transfer window started. I'm not going to say I'm a complete expert because I'm not. But I do have a bit of information on him now and doing a bit of research on him now. Sky Sports reported, and we generally consider Sky Sports to be quite a credible news source. Sky Sports and Gianluca Di Marzio as well reported that Manchester United are in advanced talks to sign the 25-year-old Brazilian. And I do think it's a step in the right direction for United. As I said, 25 years old, so not the 29, 30-year-olds we're used to signing. He's got he has got flair about him. He's got the sort of air of a Paul Pogba, but not as physical as him. So maybe that might help Pogba in terms of not having all the pressure on him to create. And he hasn't actually played too much for Shakhtar. He has played in their Champions League games, of course, and that is a very key thing as well, which we'll get onto. But I think his main strengths really are his, bringing out the ball from defense as well, helping the defenders, and just sort of stemming the gap between the defense and attack, which is something we've struggled to do this season. Well, especially towards the end of the season. Anyway, welcome Billy, welcome to the stream, mate. How are you doing? But I'm going to come to you, Day, on this one. Obviously, Fred is the main transfer story of the day. Of what you've seen of him, what do you make of him? Do you think it would be a step in the right direction for United if we were to sign him?
From what I've seen so far, my kind of, I guess, I don't know, my first look, I guess you would say, he kind of reminds me almost, I don't want to say Coutinho, but in terms of the way he moves with the ball, he's very of that same mold. Obviously, he's not as good attacking as Coutinho, but he's got the low center of gravity thing that's his advantage. And he's also good at tackling, which is something we could use. And, but it is a gamble because, you're buying foreign players, especially from the team he's from. Is not the biggest of clubs, but I'm down. I'm down for it, especially with, the likes of, doesn't look like Ander Herrera will be here. I hope he stays, but, I think if he goes, I think Fred is one of the best available options to take his place.
Yeah, no, I agree with that actually, and that's the thing. I think he is one of those players which I think you would be right to like him, someone like Coutinho. I think of what I've seen of him anyway. Obviously, again, no expert. I don't watch the Russian league, shock horror, but I think that what I've seen of him, he does look that sort of player who can is quick on the turn and can turn defense into attack really quickly, and that's what we need to do. Really, I think sharpening up our because the build-up play we've had, towards the end of the season as well, has been just ultimately sideways passing, very much negative. And with Fred in the team, someone like that, he's a bit of a ball of energy, someone who you can look to do something. So, yeah, a few of the comments coming in. BHFC News says, I think Fred would be a good signing for you guys. He's a great defensive midfielder. Well, I mean, maybe he is a good defensive midfielder. I haven't actually looked at him in that sort of way, but possibly. Although for me, I I don't really want to see more defensive midfielders coming into United. I think that's not a position we need to really strengthen. But there we go. I mean, he could be a kind of dual player, as in he can play defensive midfielder or more attacking. So, that is always good to have someone with a few utilities about him. Logan, welcome to the stream, and the True Man Communion, welcome to the stream, guys. Keep leaving your thoughts in the live chat as well on what you think about the transfers we're talking about today. But yeah, I mean, the reported fee for Fred is being reported around £50 million, which in this market, I'm not. Obviously, it's Fred for some would say is quite a big risk because he's only playing the Russian league, coming straight over to the Premier League, especially to a club as big as Manchester United, might be a bit of a risk for him. So to pay 50 million, is that? I'm going to come to you, Dale, on this one. I mean, myself, as you can tell, I'm not really sure. Do you think that £50 million is, the right amount of money we should be spending on him, or do you think it should be a bit less?
Anytime you see large sums of money getting thrown around like that, you kind of you're upset in a way because you're just like, if I could just have $1 million, but you can't. But I think more and more we see Paul Pogba. When we see the best of Paul Pogba, we think to ourselves, what a steal he was. People have been paying obscene amounts of money. Neymar was 200 million, which is a joke. It's unbelievable. And if we can get someone like Fred, who, like we've said previously, we don't know much about him. He's not a world beater. He's not world class, but he brings energy. And from what I've seen, it looks like a lot of his highlights are consistent and they're the same sort of thing. My biggest fear is him coming into this team. And from what I've seen of his highlights, he plays the counter-attacking way. He likes to run at people. He likes to play the ball in behind. And we don't have enough people running in behind. And we don't play the counter-attacking football. Our transition is so slow. Fred could help that. But I just feel like, if you get someone like Fred, you want Sanchez to be running in behind. You want Rashford to run in behind. And we just don't see enough of that. But he could change that, But then again, Mourinho is the head of everything, and that's a whole nother conversation. So,
yeah, no, I agree. I think, the thing is with football these days is it is definitely money driven, and I think for me, especially with a club like Manchester United, I think the money really is no object. It's because we have been now. I think it was this week I was told that we are the richest club in the world, ahead of Real Madrid. So ultimately, we do have money to spend. And I think for me that the most important thing is getting the talent through the door. And I think Fred would be a decent sign. We've got a few comments here as well. BHFC News says, can you ask the United Talk guy? Or, well, yeah, there you go. That's how he referred to you. He says, I'll ask him that in a second. I'm gonna ask you just in a second what he thinks of Brighton. Obviously, he is a Brighton. BHFC News is a Brighton fan, so that's going to be interesting to see. Vitality has joined the stream. Welcome to the stream. Thanks for joining. He says he's watched most of the Ukrainian games this season, and he's been absolutely brilliant. Trust me. People think he's a CDM, but really he's more of a balanced player. So there we go. Vitality seems to be our resident expert, and seems like he says he's a bit more of a balanced player. I think from watching him, you can kind of tell he is a balanced player, someone who can do both potentially. And I think probably obviously a lot of players like doing the attacking side more than the defensive side. So you would assume that he's more of an attacking player, but we'll definitely see. Welcome Ryan Davies, welcome to stream. Thanks for joining. He says, glad we signed our mascot, the new deal, Fred the Red. There, oh yeah, the hashtag Fred the Red. It's just his announcement video is just going to be him pulling off the Fred the Red.
Yes, I just thought of that.
That is going to be epic. Will that be better than the piano? We'll see. Billy says, Fred will be quality signing, very good technically, quick and excellent range of passing. Yes. One of the things when I was researching it, one of the things I did see was the fact that his final ball was fantastic. And even though he is playing in a league which some might call a pub league, it's, I think still having that eye for a pass and having that clinical final pass is really, really important. So it's good that he does have that. Choir Sultan, welcome to the stream, mate. Thanks for joining. And guys, if you haven't already, please do leave a like on the stream. It really would mean a lot. And also subscribe to my guest, Man United Talks, in the description down below for some quality Manchester United content. And welcome DLM75, welcome to the stream. He says, Fred the Red, number 2, is coming to Manchester United. Yes, it does seem that way. It definitely does seem that way. And again, we'd love to see the unveiling video. And welcome, Mr. Money Gaming. He says, yo, bro, Kieran, Chelsea so upset because Spurs have signed Pochettino to a new deal. Yes, of course they have. Pochettino signed a new deal. So all the Man United fans saying they wanted Pochettino coming in, it doesn't look like it's going to happen for the next few years. We'll go back to BHFC News' question for you, Day. A bit off topic, but we like taking questions from the comments. If you've got any questions for us, please do leave them in. He asks, what do you think of Brighton? Now, I guess this also means, what happened to them in their first season back in the Premier League? And also, what do you think about the transfer business they've already done in the summer? Already looked like they brought in 2 players to their club. So,
Really?
What do you think of Brighton?
Who have they brought in?
I'm not too sure. I think I know they brought in I think it's a La Liga striker in Andone.
Yeah.
Andone, I think his name is that. But to be honest, I don't really know who they brought. Maybe if BHFC News is still watching, he can enlighten us. But I know they have done already. I think they're the first Premier League club to make any signings. So it does look like they're being positive in the transfer window. So, what do you think?
Brighton, they're a team I like. I really do like Brighton, and I'm annoyed because we didn't beat them. But their fans are strong. I always love hearing, you can hear it come to the TV, the support they get. And they play a very intriguing style of football. It's not always the same thing. Sometimes they play 1 through 5 passes that are quick and get them through. Other times it's a ball into the box for Pascal Gross, or he's passing the ball in the box. I'm also a fan of Glenn Murray. Didn't really like him at first because he just bullied everyone. But, that's great. You always want that in football. But they're a club with potential. And I think they finished 14th, which I believe was the highest finish for all 3 of the promoted sides, which is great. Fair play to them. And there's also, I can't remember his name. There's Knockhart, who's great. There's Izquierdo, who is he just came and lit the league up. And I believe, I don't know if he was on loan from Chelsea. Izzy Brown, I've been a fan of him a bit. I don't know if he's on loan though. I don't know if they bought him. Yeah, but he's good. So yeah, Brighton, you guys are in good stead. As long as you don't beat us next season, I'm happy with you.
There you go. I think that's a fair assessment considering we're on the Man United channel. But high praise indeed. High praise indeed from Day there. And I think I'd have to concur with a lot of what he said. And obviously doing the transfer business, apparently he says the 2 players, they've signed 1 player called Leon Balgoon. And I can't say I know too much about him, but there you go. But it does look like you're taking a step in the right direction. So fair play to you. Welcome. I'm going to welcome a few other people to the stream. Welcome Liam. Welcome to the stream. He says, hi, Kieran, and the other guy I don't know. The other guy you don't know is Man United Talks, or Day from Man United Talks, and his link is in the description down below. Really would recommend his content, so go and subscribe to him. Link in the description down below. Welcome T2F Music Studio as well. Welcome to the stream. I saw a quote from a comment from someone saying that Fred. Choir says Fred the new Anderson ? Well, obviously Anderson did actually enjoy some success for United, even if he wasn't our best player. But still, I think if Fred has the same sort of success as Anderson had, he would have had a decent career, I've got to say. T2F Music Studio says, I think more than trophies, we should look to play strong consistently, and that's when we will know we can win a trophy. Right now we look weak, and I'm not sure if any new signing can change that. So, a bit of a negative. And obviously that's your opinion. It's slightly negative. Already saying that new signings can't change that. But I think maybe you're right. Maybe the style of play we've been playing this season will not be able to change with a couple of signings. Maybe you think the manager needs to change. I'm not sure. I think that's a good point. I just kind of discuss. Dave, what are your thoughts on that? Obviously, T2F Music Studio, they're saying that, you know, new signings are not the answer for Manchester United. Do you think that new signings will change, or do you think that, you know, maybe we need a change in a different area?
Well, before I answer that question, I just want to say that I looked on Twitter and I was looking for the post. That's why I kept looking down at my phone. And Fred has liked an Instagram post that says Fred is red. So
Ooh.
I don't know, you know, stir the pot a little bit. Stir the pot. Yeah. But as for the question and the comment, I agree in a sense. I do, but I also feel, you know, Mourinho has never not been a defensive manager. He's always looked to get the clean sheet first. But he's had players that he wants, and he's made it clear he doesn't want any of Van Gaal's players here, simply because I just don't think they suit his style. I love Daley Blind, and I wish he was our backup holding midfielder, especially since Carrick's gone now. But as a holding midfielder or a bloody Manchester United, but I think of play, I don't think it's a bad style of play if we have the right players. It just doesn't have now suited to that playing style. I think did this because they could probably. However, I think Mourinho has got. We all know Mourinho has a different and I think Fred is help. It will help especially if we continue to play this 4-3 that we've been playing at towards the end of the season. I think these are the puzzle that will improve us. Although it's kind of annoying because, you know, Herrera, Mate, you thought that was going to be it, but you know, maybe it will. And that's all I really have to say. My biggest problem is that we don't have a right winger. But apart from that, yeah.
There you go. I've just seen a comment from Vitality saying he's just subscribed to United Talk. So I urge you to do the same as well. Go and check out his channel. Link in the description down below. But yes, keep getting your thoughts in the comment section as well. Thanks to everyone who has been commenting. And yeah, there might be some lag, Liam. I do apologise for that. You know, my Wi-Fi is not great, so there might be some spikes, lags. That I do apologise for that, but you know, what can you do? I nearly read that as something different there. Choir says, shout out to Big O, obviously a favourite on the channel there. DLM says he watched Fred on YouTube today, and he looks like Mata, who is much faster and much more skillful, so he's quite happy. There you go. So, I mean, to be fair, Mata has been Mata's been all right this season, I'd say. I think Mata has been all right this season, actually. For us, he's been all right this season. And I think, you know, if someone, I think the one thing that he did lack was probably pace. So actually, if he's a bit of a faster and more skillful, that can only be a good thing. Liam has also subbed to Man United Talk. So yeah, already people subbing to the channel. And I really appreciate it. So yeah, go and check out his channel in the description down below, as well as Billy. So yes, guys, keep subscribing to the link in the description down below. If you like Manchester United content. So, and Mr. Money Gaming as well, subscribe. Very good, guys. Keep subscribing in the link in the description down below. T2F says exactly the style of play, or maybe Jose has to pick players who can actually play in his style. I mean, that's an interesting one. Obviously, maybe you could then argue, does Jose Mourinho need to bring in players who can play his style? And I mean, for me, I would say that, you know, I would like Jose Mourinho to bring in players who he thinks will play the best. And if they don't, then he's got nowhere to hide if we're not successful. He can't say, oh, half this team isn't my players or anything like that. He has to take it on the chin and say, I brought in these players and they didn't work for me. So yeah. Also, guys, please leave a like as well. That'd be absolutely fantastic. But yeah, keep getting your comments in as well.
Yes.
So the next one, obviously we've touched on Fred, and if you want to go back and check out what we said on Fred earlier in the stream, you can just rewind it. But yes, we were talking about Fred at the start. but a few more transfers, a few more players have been linked with Manchester United over the past week. One that seems to be very much in the news, Toby Alderweireld to Manchester United now. He is 29 years old, and he has been a good Premier League centre-back. I think that's fair to say. Has been very, very solid for Tottenham, but his contract seems to be coming to an end very, very soon. And, what great timing in the transfer window, no less. So, I want to get your thought on this day. Obviously, Toby Alderweireld to Man United. Firstly, what are your opinions on him? Do you think he's a good player? Do you think he'd be able to play the Man United way? And also, do you think we should be even looking to strengthen that centre-back partnership? Or, sorry about this. Or should we... should we be looking to strengthen this centre-back partnership? Or should we be looking elsewhere to strengthen?
My personal thoughts are that I wouldn't mind bringing in another center half. I mean, I think Lindelof still needs to mature, and I think he should probably play, out of a 60-game season, I would say he needs to be involved in at least 30 games, at least. So maybe I don't think maybe he's ready to start next to Bailly. However, if we do get Toby Alderweireld, that's him, Bailly, Lindelof, Smalling, Jones, and Rojo. 6 center halves, and that Rojo's just signed a new contract. Well, not just, but a few months ago. But I don't see why Jones is still here. I wouldn't be mad if Chris Smalling left, but Mourinho loves him just as much as he loves Ashley Young. I think Jones is just a defensive liability because of his injuries, and that's not really. It's a fault of his own because of the way he plays. However, though, Toby Alderweireld is the subject at hand, and he's brilliant. He's class, and he just came back from a massive injury. Hopefully, he's not, struggling with that, and we don't have to sacrifice for him, or we don't have to, bring in Chris Smalling and he plays the rest of the season or something. But he's a great passer of the ball. His reading of the game is great. He's 29 years old, as you said, experienced for days. He's actually quite quick, even though FIFA, disrespects him. FIFA does the most anyway. But that while strengthening our side, we'd also take away from Spurs, who Davinson Sanchez is great and he has potential for sure, but Toby Alderweireld is definitely better. So I have no problem with him coming in. And I think that covered what you said. If I didn't, let me know and I could,
No, that's perfect. That's perfect. No, yeah, I think, the point you made there about, obviously, taking away from a rival is actually quite a good one, because that is the thing with these big sides. When we took Sanchez away from Arsenal, obviously he hasn't played to his full potential yet, but we definitely did take away from, a rival in that respect. And that can only be a positive thing as well, taking Alderweireld away from Spurs, because they have had a very, very good defensive record, and it is definitely partly up to him. So, taking him away with, I said, Davinson Sanchez, he is all right, but I definitely think Alderweireld is better than him. So, we'll see what happens with that one. But also, the injury, injury concern with Alderweireld as well is one which does puzzle a lot of Man United fans and does concern a lot of Man United fans, because, we bring in someone like Alderweireld, and if he gets injured halfway through the season, he won't have the desired effect. And, really to win a title and to be successful, you need a really strong centre-back partnership, which is very much sustained throughout the season. And if we do have a centre-back who does get injured quite a lot, then that really could... that'll probably make it hard to have a sustained centre-back partnership, and you'll probably see the likes of Smalling and Jones creeping back into the centre-backs. Yeah. But yes, I'm going to read a few of the comments here. Please do keep leaving your thoughts on the live chat for us. Liam says, what style of football did Sir Alex Ferguson play? I honestly can't remember. Well, I mean, I think it's safe to say he did play very much attacking football and very, very entertaining football, which a lot of people think Jose Mourinho doesn't play. DLM wants me to read his comment. He says, Jose said he'll be changing next season. as we have new coaches there as well, like a new fitness coach, also McKenna, the youth coach, who is attacking coach, and also Carrick. So yeah, we have brought in a lot of different coaches. So you could say we're broadening and we're kind of getting better on the coaching side, or at least changing our coaches, and that might help our style of play. We'll wait and see. But I definitely think Michael Carrick as a coach really is a he definitely is a benefit to have in there. Someone who has played for Man United for most of their career, knows what it means to play for United, wear that shirt, and hopefully he can transmit that onto the other players. Daz is not a fan of Toby Alderweireld, but there we go. And that's thing. Not every Man United fan's going to be a fan of every signing. And Toby Alderweireld at 29 years old, there are definitely cons to his game, like his injury record and obviously his age. But there are definite pros there, and I think a partnership of Eric Bailly and Toby Alderweireld would be absolutely fantastic. T2F Music Studio here says when Fergie was there, he was getting trophies with the players he wanted, rather than just signing all the top players. He had players whom he believed that can play for him. So yeah, I mean that is definitely the main something that Man United managers need to consider. Obviously, and Jose Mourinho, he needs players in his team who are going to play his way, because whether we like his way or not, if his way is successful, he needs players who are going to implement that. So I think that is very much, I think in some ways, it's definitely positive for him to bring in, bring in players who he thinks can play his way, wherever his way is. Because the last 5 games of the season, we didn't really have a way. We looked lost on the pitch, but there you go. Liam has a question. He says, under good coaching staff, could Mustafi from Arsenal be a good pickup for United? Well, that is very, very interesting. I don't think he's been linked with Manchester United, but Mustafi has had a bit of trouble at Manchester United, at Arsenal, sorry. And I mean, it's a very interesting question from Liam there. Dave, I'm going to ask you this one, mate. Obviously, Mustafi hasn't really been linked with Manchester United, but do you think that a change of scenery, a change of coaching staff for Mustafi would mean he'd be a decent option if we were going to look for potential centre-backs?
That's good. Mustafi is good. He's probably Arsenal's best centre-half. Koscielny's a bit over there. But I would take any center-half of his quality or higher, for sure. I just think we need to clear out before we sign, and then we have a 7th center-half. That would just be ridiculous. And then you back from Aston Villa, and you also have I would prefer to play central defensive midfield back as center half. We're not going to stunt the growth if we keep signing players without clearing out other players. So, but in terms of Mustafi, could definitely cut it at Manchester United. He's very acrobatic in the way he defends in his body anywhere it needs to be to stop the ball from getting to the back of the net, and it could be to his own, like Phil Jones, but Mustafi's not as thick or husky, so he gets away with it. Yeah, but if we get Mustafi, as long as Jones goes, and I guess that's the other. Oh, I like Bailly's just got here. Lindelof is going to be one of the best in the world, in my opinion. I think if Lindelof was at City, as much as I hate to say it, I mean, he'd make Jones look like I don't know, Phil Jones. Like, yeah.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. I think that I think it's a very good point you made. Obviously, the fact that how many centre backs we already have, and I think we do need to clear out before we bring in, because currently we've got Rojo, Bailly, Smalling, Jones, Lindelof, all these players, and to bring in another centre back, as you said, would probably stunt the growth of a few of them. And I definitely want to see Eric Bailly in there. So it's going to be hard to juggle if we brought in another centre back without replacing him. It definitely would be hard to juggle. All of those centre backs and keep them happy. So I think that's a very, very good point. Welcome, PJ7 Football Highlights. Welcome to the stream. Thanks for joining. Please leave a like, guys, if you haven't already as well. And also subscribe to Man United Talks in the description down below for more Manchester United content. A few opinions on Mustafi. Billy says Mustafi's a donkey. There we go. That's summed up quite well. PJ7 says Mustafi is dog shit. So again, pretty negative comments coming in for Mustafi here. Let's see any more. DLM says Mustafi is shit, but he keeps spamming it. So there we go. We know his opinion as well. So yeah, again, not the most positive opinions on Mustafi, to say the least. But there we go. But yes, I mean, it was a very interesting, question from Liam, I thought, because, Mustafi is definitely one from further afield that hasn't really been linked with Manchester United. So yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting. But yes. So those are the two main, transfer stories from Manchester United, and are going on right now. Welcome, Nestor and G. Welcome to the stream. He says, my friend, how is your day? My day is going fantastically well. Thank you very much for asking. And if you want to, please do leave a like on the stream as well. And subscribe to my buddy Day in the description down below if you haven't already. But yes, wow, Ryan says Stephen Hawkins could do better than Mustafi. Well, that's anyway, we're going to skip over that one. T2F Music says, how about Joe? How about signing Jimenez, Maria Jimenez? Is Maria Jimenez
Oh, yeah.
Is he from Atletico Madrid? Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
What are your thoughts on that sign? Do you think he'd be a good option?
Yeah, I feel like he's more or less Eric Bailly though. I think he'd be a great sign, and he's very young age as Bailly, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, quality, but at the end of the day, I think as weird as this is probably the least of our worries, because if Bailly's fit, if Lindelof's fit, which he always is so far, knock on wood, in my opinion, and if we get, I would prefer over Mustafi, then it's all. I was gonna make a food reference, but I forgot. It's all gravy. There you go. Yeah. Biggest problem just comes down to managerial choices. I think just to put tactics, I should say, not managerial choices. Mourinho's a great manager. He's a great tactician, and we beat every season. And I know I'm going off a little bit, but we beat every team in the season. I mean, every team in the league this season. We beat all of the top 6. Okay, so maybe we shouldn't get Mustafi. But yeah, I just think it's tactics. It's just
Yeah, no, I would agree with that. I think it's again. I mean, it's obviously the point about the fact that we've already got a lot of centre backs already at the club, so it would be pretty it'd be pretty difficult to bring in someone like Jimenez. And I think with centre back partnerships as well, you want kind of two you want two kind of contrasting centre back partnerships, because you don't want two players who are good at one thing but they're both not good at another. So yeah, I mean, we'll see about that. Obviously, the transfer window is young, so we could be linked with a multitude of players. I'm going to read the comments, Ryan. Don't you worry about that. Welcome. There's another Ryan Davies in the chat, although he has been signed out from DLM. So, yes. But if you are watching, please leave a like, guys. Really would appreciate it. Oh, gosh, he's referencing Stephen Hawking again. God, goodness me. Anyway. Daza says, Jimenez from Atletico is a decent defender, but don't want him if we have to pay 50 million plus. Obviously, defenders paying kind of a lot of money for defenders is a risky game, to say the least. Obviously, Pep Guardiola has done it with Laporte and Kyle Walker, and it does seem it has paid off for him. So maybe it is the right way to go. T12 Music Studio says Andy has been defensively good under Simeone, as Atletico is very defensive. So if we get Jimenez, he would be naturally defensive, as he was taught to be defensive. So obviously, Simeone is a very good defensive coach, as we know. So ultimately, I think he would be a good defender to have. It'd just be the kind of partner you would pair with him, really. So. Yeah, obviously those are the kind of main transfer rumors regarding Manchester United. If you guys in the live chat have got any other interesting rumors you've seen on social media or want to talk about, but we talked about a lot of the players who could potentially coming into United. But what are the players who could potentially leaving United? Now it does seem that Marouane Fellaini is not going to extend his contract to Manchester United. Dave, what are your thoughts on that? What are your thoughts on Fellaini looking like he's going to leave? Do you think it's a right step? It's a step in the right direction for Man United, getting rid of players like Fellaini, or do you think he would have offered us something if we played him in a different role?
I just want to first, my very, very smart neighbor is power washing right now, so you might hear it, you might not. But as for Fellaini, I'm ready for him to go. Now, I think if he wasn't relied upon so heavily or rated by Mourinho over Pogba, simply because he probably follows instructions better than Pogba, which is fair enough. Mourinho just had a bit too much faith in him over Pogba. I suffered, and I still wouldn't like Fellaini to start over any of our midfield three, but I think his ticket is called, and I think it's now my only thing is like Milan, that's weird. Those are teams that play some sort of football. Not saying that Fellaini can't play football, but I'd love to see Fellaini in a PSG jersey, but I doubt that's gonna happen. So,
it is. Again, as you say, teams like AC Milan, PSG going for Fellaini, you wouldn't have thought it, would you? You really wouldn't have thought it. And but I think for me, Fellaini, is one of those players who you can have on the bench as kind of a plan B, maybe put him right up front. Yeah. I do not want to see him in our midfield. For me, he slows it down, and he's definitely a liability in the midfield. But if you put him right up front, and if you put him right up front and whip balls into him, as we saw against Arsenal, he can do the business. So it's I don't know, but I think it does look like Fellaini is going to be leaving the club. You guys can have your say in the live chat and the comment section down below whether that is a good decision or not. Welcome, Front Row Gamers XX. Welcome to the stream. Thanks for joining. Please leave a like and also subscribe to Dave's channel in the description down below. Really would recommend it. Nesta says Fred good. So there you go. Another positive opinion on Fred. We've had a lot of positive opinions going towards Fred. He does seem like the order of the day, really. So that's very, 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 very positive sign as well if we are going to sign him. And leave your thoughts, guys, also on who you think Man United need to get rid of. We mentioned Fellaini there. There's a few other players. I guess you could mention Darmian. You could mention Blind as well. As I said, keep your comments coming in, things like that. Thank you very much, Front Row Gamers. I appreciate the love. Right back at you. I guess I'll come to you, Dale, on that one. Obviously, we talked about Fellaini already. What were your thoughts? What would your thoughts be if do you think we need to get rid of Darmian and Blind, or is there anyone else you think are deadwood players and would be better if we got rid of them so we could make room for some more players?
Darmian, for sure. Like you said, I just think his time's up. His time is definitely up. And the fact that Juventus won him, it still shows the quality that he has. But he just can't cross for his life. He can't cross the ball to save his life. Deadwood, you said. Blind simply because Mourinho doesn't know how to use him. He's still good, though. I believe in him. And if he goes anywhere else and gets to play that holding midfield position, I think he'd do great. God, that thing is loud. I don't know if you can hear it, but it's getting on my nerves.
No, yeah, I don't think we can hear it. It's fine. It's fine.
Ashley Young, Deadwood, but Mourinho said he wants him to play 50 to 60 games next season, which makes me just want to punch a baby turtle. So, whatever. And then you could choose between Jared and Paulin, or you could say both. I think that wraps it up for the Deadwood. And before we move on, I just want to say the title of my FA Cup final review was Sanchez Has to Go. And I got hate. I got so much hate. And I just don't. It's a great signing, and I guess when players of that quality are available, you have to take them. And he had 3 goals in 18 appearances for Manchester United. That's not good enough. And I know he needs time to adjust, and it'd be great, but he just needs to not sit deep so much. Firstly, he comes deep too much. And he just doesn't play any one position. He occupies Paul Pogba's space, which is why Pogba doesn't look as great anymore, and it's upsetting. So, I mean, we're not going to sell him, but the team should come first. And it feels like right now everyone else is adjusting to Alexis Sanchez rather than he adjusting to the team. So, yeah.
Yeah, no.
He's not Deadwood, but yeah.
Yeah, no, I think that is obviously, very, very interesting indeed. Because I think a lot of people, as you say, with Alexis Sanchez, they kind of think, we brought him in, he has to play, and in some ways you could say you could make a logical argument to say that his signing has thwarted some of the development of Anthony Martial, Marcus Rashford, players who, before he came in, were showing some absolutely fantastic form, but now not doing so well. So, you could definitely say that. And, I think you could make an argument to say he hasn't been, what am I saying? He definitely hasn't been, he definitely hasn't shown his potential. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'm hoping that next season he can come good. I really hope he can come good. But yes, obviously there's, with the Ashley Young thing you said as well, 50 to 60 games. Let's not forget that he is, he's getting on a bit, to say the least. He's definitely getting on a bit. Yeah. So, 50 or 60 games. I don't understand how he'd be able to do it. I really don't understand. But Jose Mourinho seems to see him as one of his favourite players. So, I don't know. I'm guessing then, if he wants him to play 50 or 60 games, does that mean we're not going to bring in a fullback? Alexandra has been talked about as a transfer target, but that might have just been completely made out of, made up, completely made up, because if he wants to play Ashley Young for 50, 60 games, why would we need another left back? I don't know. But surely we should be looking to, to go for the future. Surely we should be looking to, looking to build for the future. But I don't know. I don't know what Jose Mourinho thinks. T2F Music Studio says, we do have an exciting season to come. I think we do. I think it is going to be an exciting season. Obviously, after what happened in the FA Cup, definitely, not exciting at all. Really put the mood down towards the end of the season. But I think, if we have a good transfer window, the transfer window this year shuts before the first game of the season. So we'll know our squad before the first game of the season. We'll know where we are going into it. And I think we will be in a positive position. They want me to read the comments, so I will read some of the comments, although a few of the comments I've been reading, and they're slightly inappropriate, but there we go. Here's an example. Front Row Games is OMG, I just want to lick that ginger hair. Well, I mean, mate, I tell you what, the ladies tell me that all the time, but unfortunately, you're looking at me through a camera right now. Here we go. There's another question here from T2F Music Studio. He says, I need to ask one more thing. Arsenal seems like they're getting strong. They have signed Emery, obviously Unai Emery, coming into the club. I think he has competitive enough to EPL as well. So we need to do well this time. Obviously, Unai Emery. Yes, it was Big O in the background, by the way, Choir Sultan. With Unai Emery coming into the club, is that? I mean, I definitely think it's going to be a positive signing. It's a positive managerial change for Arsenal. I guess I'll ask you about this day. With Arsenal getting a new manager, do you think next season they'll be challenging for the league, or do you think it's too soon for them to be thinking about that? Do you think they should be thinking about getting back into the Champions League places?
I think they have about 80,000 attacking players, but the defense is just bad. So I don't see any possibility of them challenging for the title. Mustafi is probably the only person who is anything good defensively for them. Bellerin is just not good enough. Kolasinac, actually, I'm a fan of. I'm a fan of Kolasinac. He's just a big beast, and that kind of sounds weird, but Jack Wilshere is probably the only driving force in that midfield. You got Ozil as well, but they don't have anyone who's really, good defensively, or just of a higher caliber defensively. They've played Xhaka in the holding role at times, but his discipline gets him in trouble. But things could change if Unai Emery. I feel like he may be one of them managers, although he's never done this before. But I think it would be wise for him maybe to bring Adrien Rabiot from PSG, or try to get a Kimpembe who's coming of age in the PSG backline. He's starting over Thiago Silva, so maybe he won't leave. But yeah, I think Arsenal have a lot of attacking talent, and they usually do. But I could see them making top 4, pushing for it, depending on the signings they make. But the top 4, 5, 6 is difficult now in the Premier League. It's getting tough. But as long as we're first, I don't care. Yeah.
I think that's fair. That is fair. But yeah, I think Arsenal they will get better. I think, and with the amount of attacking talent they have in their team, with a new manager coming in, it'll definitely be a breath of fresh air for Arsenal, and maybe their players can play to the best of their ability. Obviously, Aubameyang, the quickest Arsenal player to get to 10 Premier League goals, or it might be 10 Premier League goals, or just 10 goals in general. I'm not sure, but again, he's definitely going to be a lethal striker next season. You've got Ozil, Mkhitaryan, Lacazette. These guys are very, very, very good as well. So ultimately, Arsenal do look a threat, and if they bring in a few extra signings, Emery gets them playing in the right way, they could be a very, very much a strong force next season. Right, I'll read a few of the comments, but we are going to wrap this up very, very soon. Front Row Gaming says, "Tell Big O." Okay, well, he's gone now, so I can't really tell you that he looks hot today. But yeah, he also says, "Punch him for a like." Again, he's gone, so I can't punch him for a like. But please do leave a like if you haven't already, guys, and please do subscribe to Dave's channel in the description down below. But yeah, I think really we've talked about everything we're going to talk about. I think that basically wraps up for today's stream. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. I really do appreciate all of your support. Please do, as I said, leave a like if you haven't already. And if you are watching the video, leave your thoughts on everything we've discussed in the comment section down below. And also, I want to thank Dave for coming on the show. Really appreciate it. Is there any last words?
Not really. Yeah, like you said, we covered everything. Hopefully this will be kind of the same in a week when I do my season review. I'd like to have you on there if I can get that worked out. But yeah, it was fun again, and looking forward to the next one.
Well, I've got to say thank you very much for coming on and bringing your wisdom to the Red Devil Weekly channel. And yeah, as I said, for final time, I'm going to say this. Please do subscribe to Dave's channel, Man United Talks, in the link in the description down below. And make sure to hit that notification bell as well to make sure you do not miss an upload. But anyway, by the way, I'll be absolutely glad to join you on that season review as well. So, hit me up with the details on that. But thank you very much for watching, guys. Please leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you are indeed new. And I'll see you guys probably sooner than you think. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in a bit.